Hello Year 7, welcome to week 6. Today we're going to be continuing on with the last little section of our design task booklet. You will need to have that open I find mine under week 4, okay, which is about right. That's where it would have been. It should be in your Google Docs. So I'm just going to open this. Now when I open this, you can see I have 2 people who have already handed in, and I've got 19 people who still need to hand it in and finish it. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to open up the blank document, and we have already done the first section. So we talked about what healthy eating was. We looked at the poster of the digestive process. We wrote a little bit about that. Then we looked at the nutrients, and you had to give me a food source. Then we talked about a balanced diet. We have a little section here on healthy cooking methods. And then there was a small reflection. And then we talked about the food selection models. And there was some information about the food selection models and the Australian Guide to Healthy Eating. And then there were a few questions that you had to complete. And you can just type straight into the box, okay? And that box will just expand if you've got a lot of writing. So then last week, you would have started on your healthy eating design task, okay? So you had to read through the design brief, and you had to highlight or underline the constraints and considerations. And then this grid here was part of your investigation. So this was just to fill in of all the different types of ingredients that you would find in a stir fry. Okay. From that, you were to come up with 3 different design options and then fill them in here. Okay. 1, 2, and 3. Then you will need to pick which one of these 3 options that you are going to cook and explain why. Okay. Then we got to the evaluation criteria. Now, some of you get a little bit stuck and a bit confused about the evaluation criteria, but all this is ways to measure if the end product is successful or not successful. So you might ask a question that is linked to the design brief. So for example, the product needed to have at least 1 meat or 1 meat substitute. So you could say, did the stir fry include the ingredients required? And then response would say yes, because it included 1 meat, a minimum of 2 vegetables, etc., etc. And then you would come up with a second question, and then you would come up with a third question, and they are all to measure the success of the finished product. Okay, so see how you go with that. So that needed to be completed. That was all last week. Then we had a basic recipe, and I explained this in the previous week's video, that this is a generic. So this is like a general recipe guide and method, and you had to put in the vegetables that you were using. So you would have 75 grams of vegetable 1, so that might have been carrot, and then 75 grams of vegetable 2, and that might have been broccoli, okay, and etc., all the way down. And so then when you get to the method, you put in your ingredients, okay, and then that's how that works. Now, if you don't have permission to cook at home, that is fine. I'm not asking, you to go out and buy special ingredients to do a recipe at home. That is not what this is about. This is more about actually designing and following a design brief. Okay, so if you have not cooked, that is not a problem. You can still complete the design task and the assessment. So then what we need to do now is we need to do an evaluation. Now, some of you would not have cooked, okay? So you would not be able to answer the evaluation questions here. So you might have a question for question 3, but I would expect that this box here for the response would be empty. Okay, and that's fine. I'll make adjustments and modifications to the assessment rubric. However, whether you have cooked a stir fry or not cooked a stir fry, you are still required to fill in these sentence starters. Now, in this box here, we have lots of words and key vocabulary that we've been using in this unit. Australian Guide to Healthy Eating, healthy, cooking method, stir fry, modification, investigate, design, produce, ingredients, evaluate, constraints, considerations, sensory analysis, appearance, aroma, texture, flavor, taste, successful, original, differences, design brief. So there's just a lot of words there that are key vocabulary words for this particular unit. And the idea would be is you want to include a lot of these words in your writing. Now, this is what this session is for. This session is for you to complete your written task. Okay, so this is either you can call it a reflection or you can call it an essay. They're the same thing. So these sentence starters you are going to complete in this grid. Okay, and you're going to pick one of these. Now, I suggest, for the sake of my sanity when it comes to me to mark you, I suggest that you either highlight, like I'm doing right now, the sentence starter that you're choosing, and then continue on the sentence here. Or you could literally go like this. Oh, try that again. And then you could say, I'm going to copy that and I put it over here. I paste that in there, and then you're going to continue the sentence. Okay? So in this side of the table with your sentence starters, I want to see complete sentences. So I'm giving you a choice. You can either highlight this in a different color so I know which sentence starter you are choosing, or you can copy and then paste it onto this side and then continue your writing. Now, when I have looked at these sentence starters, you may actually want to use both, but you would use them in different places. Okay, within the topic, within that paragraph, but not necessarily all at the same time. So you might decide that you don't want to use healthy eating is. Okay, you might decide that you want to, in class, we are learning about healthy eating. Okay, so even though I have this down here as a paragraph 1 topic sentence, if you're clever enough and you understand what the go is, you could actually use this as your introduction. In class, we are learning about healthy eating. Okay, and you would then continue on with that sentence. So the choice is yours, but these are just as to be used as a guide, but you need to go through and do every single one. Now, this is just the first sentence or 2 in your paragraph. Remember, a paragraph is of 4 sentences minimum. Okay, so this is the topic sentence. The design brief asked me to, or in class we are learning about healthy eating. And then you have to come up with the other 3 sentences. If you have space, I suggest that you put it all in here. And if you're typing in here, it's going to just expand as you write. I would write your whole paragraph in here. Okay, this then becomes a planning sheet. Okay, and you would continue down. So you've got your paragraph here is your topic sentence, and then you've got the body. You've got the topic sentence for paragraph 2, and then you've got the body. Okay, paragraph 3, topic sentence is here, and then the body. Okay, and then you need to put in the information. Paragraph 4, topic sentence, and then the body. Now, one thing that we need to think about, okay, is that most of you did not actually cook the product, which is fine. However, you can still talk about your design options, okay? There is no reason why you cannot complete this task if you've not cooked, okay? You do not need to cook the product to be able to talk about healthy eating and how your end product meets the design brief for healthy eating, okay? So there is no reason why this is not filled in. Then what you're going to do, if you are going to use this table as a complete planning and you're going to write your whole paragraph in these columns, then all you need to do is cut and paste those into here. And this would then become your essay. I am not expecting you to rewrite and make up new sentences. If you are using the sentence starters for just sentence starters, then I would expect to see that sentence starter down in your essay, plus the 3 other sentences to make up that paragraph. Okay? So you need to think about that. So this is what this double is going to be for, is to be working on and completing the sentence starters and the written reflection or essay. Okay, now I am going to put up a Google Meets link during class tomorrow, and I would expect that everybody at least pops in and says hello, and then if there are any questions, we can answer them. Okay, so we need to make sure that we're having this completed properly. This task will be due next Thursday. So I always give you guys a week to write up your reflection essay. Okay, so this needs to be completed by next Thursday. We will not be working on this task. Next Thursday, there will be something else for you to work on. Okay, so that's what you're going to do today. I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to double check before I go to bed tonight, because obviously this is a recording and this is pre-recorded the day before. And I'm just going to double check who else might have handed in their booklet, and if it's not fully completed, I'm going to send it back to you because you will need that to continue on with today's work. So I'm going to leave it there, and I hope to see you guys on our Google Meet tomorrow during our session. See you later, guys.